Tim, we met about 16 years ago at the Master Seminary, but maybe you can explain, why did you even decide to become a Bible teacher? What made you move that direction?
You know, Christian, that was just something that God was doing in my life from the time that I became a Christian. And eventually I saw that that was something I needed to do to make the most of my life.
Well, it was a drastic change from the life before. Maybe you can give us a little bit insight in what brought you even to that point.
Yeah. You know, I did not grow up in a Christian family. We had virtually no Christians in our family. My parents divorced when I was about 8 years old. Mm-hmm. But I did go to a church, a Baptist Sunday school for a year when I was 10 years old. Mm-hmm. But from that time on, I never had any kind of Bible or Christian influence for the next 12 years.
Yes.
During high school, my mother became a Christian. Mm-hmm. And about the time when I finished college, I went to church. She invited me on one Easter to go to church.
Typical, like in Germany, Easter's.
It's good to go sometime.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good message. The next Sunday came, and I said to my girlfriend and to my mom, "Hey, it's Sunday. Let's go to church." And they looked at me funny, and they said, "Do you want to go back?" And I said, "Yeah, that was good." And I just kept going back every day since that time. Mm-hmm. So, you know, God began a work, and that work was through the preaching of His Word. And about 8 years later, after being in our home church for 8 years in Las Vegas, mm-hmm. I was involved in serving and helping with Awana ministries and different kinds of ministries, some teaching.
So you worked with the children working in Awana?
Awana, yep, started working in Awana very soon. Mm-hmm. And helping out with maybe the church's finances, the bookkeeper, and once in a while I would preach if the pastor was gone.
Even so, you haven't been in Bible school? You started already to preach?
I began to study right away. Yeah. I wanted to learn and grow and study.
So what would you encourage the young men if they come to know the Lord? Why would you encourage them, hey, you should study the Bible, you should consider even to teach?
Well, you know, I always wanted to grow, and I had a good pastor. He spent a lot of time with me. Mm-hmm. But I always wanted to learn, and I wanted more than what I was getting. We had a conference one time at Las Vegas Bible Church. It was a prophecy conference, and the men included John Walvard, mm-hmm. and Paul Feinberg and some other brothers. And I remember asking at that conference, or perhaps a different one, you know, what would be something good to study? And he recommended one theology book, and I read it, about an 800-page book. And the thing that I wanted more of was to be able to learn the Word of God. After 8 years, I realized that I needed to move to California so I could attend seminary and get the kind of training that I wanted. Mm-hmm. And that was the Master's Seminary. And the thing that for every person is that, you know, we are called to know God.
Yeah.
That's everyone.
Well, okay, that includes everybody who will listen to this. But here's the other question. Since then, and I know we went on a missions trip together one time to Germany, but since then you have been in Ukraine and Russia many times. What is your relationship there?
You know, during our seminary time, you know, the first trip I took was with you, mm-hmm. and you know, I was so thankful, am so thankful for that opportunity to have had my eyes open to the opportunities that are around the world. Mm-hmm. And we came very close to moving to you know, the foreign mission field, but that was not our path. And one of the things that I said to myself at that time is, if I cannot live here to be a direct part of this work, I want to be a part of it on a regular basis. So, God has opened those opportunities to be able to travel to the Ukraine, especially.
Yeah.
And there could be no greater blessing than to know that you're having an involvement in passing on the Word of God to other men.
So that's a significant part, to be able to pass on what God has given you, to pass it on to the next generation. And you're meeting right now with a few students here who going through the exposition or exegesis of Ephesians. So that's a very significant time. Now, we are also in a very special location. It just doesn't look only rustic. Where are we?
We are here in Wittenberg, and standing in the midst of the place where God used Martin Luther to blow the roof off of the tyranny of the Middle Ages.
Yeah. And this is a Kranachhaus, Kranachhöfe they call it, where the guy who painted basically what Luther taught, so the public could see it and understand it, because most of them didn't at that time read and write as we know today. So great, thank you.
What a privilege. Thank you, Christian, for letting me be a part of this ministry here this week.